This is a three-part video series that will look at how personal characteristics influence language learning. The first video looked at IQ, aptitude, learning styles, extrovertedness, and inhibitions. This video is going to consider anxiety and motivation. Anxiety is another aspect that varies from learner to learner. In general, anxiety in the language learning classroom has been considered prohibitive to learning. However, there is recognition that there may be something called ideal stress or ideal anxiety level. Some suggest that without a certain amount of stress, learning cannot occur. On the other hand, there's a lot of emphasis today on game-based learning so that students have fun and learn at the same time. I suppose I fall somewhere in between. I don't believe all anxiety needs to be removed from the class all the time. There are certain skills, such as public speaking, that will not be learned without the accompanying stress. But I do think that instructors should remove as much tension as possible. The next personal characteristic affecting language learning is motivation. One way of looking at motivation is as instrumental motivation or integrative motivation. Instrumental motivation is when a learner has real and immediate needs for the language, like needing to find a job. Integrative motivation pertains to learners who want to learn the language for fun or cultural reasons. A more common way of dividing motivation is between intrinsic and extrinsic motives. Intrinsic motivation connects to internal desires and goals, whereas extrinsic motivation is placed upon the learner by external sources. Needing to study for a test in order to get an A is external motivation for learning. Wanting to communicate with friends in the target language is an internal motivation. Lightbound and Spada present some interesting applications pertaining to motivation. The first is that research now shows us that the way an activity is introduced, such as the words, the intonation, and the purpose, can create greater motivation for students. Second is that using a variety of activities and materials can fight boredom in the classroom. However, instructors need to be careful because never repeating an activity will increase anxiety, since learners are always needing to apply significant cognitive resources just to understanding the instructions. Repetition of class routines provides comfort for students. The third point that Lightbound and Spada make is that cooperative activities are more motivating to all students than competitive activities. Granted, some learners are strongly driven to compete and will enjoy those type of activities, but the majority of students don't fall into that category. Cooperative activities, by definition, require contribution from each member of the group in order for successful completion. In summary, we talked about ideal stress, types of motivation, and how to increase motivation. The next video will talk about the critical period hypothesis, learner beliefs, and cultural identity.